Welcome to our channel, the place where shadows dance and whispers echo with the chilling tales of the unknown. I'm your host, Sam, and tonight we venture into the heart of darkness. We're about to explore three bone-chilling encounters with ghostly figures, each one witnessed within the desolate walls of abandoned restaurants. Get ready to feel the goosebumps form, because these stories are as real as the phantom chill down your spine. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling stories. Our first story takes us to the outskirts of a forgotten town, a place where time seems to stand still. We find ourselves at the rusty door of the Whispering Willow, a once popular diner now shrouded in an eerie silence. Locals whisper tales of the diner's ill-fated past, stories of a tragic fire, and the souls lost within the flames. But the most unsettling tale revolves around the phantom waiter, a spectral figure said to still roam the empty aisles, taking orders from an invisible menu. Imagine, if you will, a crisp autumn night. The wind howls like a banshee, rattling the windows of the deserted diner. Inside, dust motes dance in the pale moonlight filtering through the grimy windows. This is where our witness, a young photographer named Jake, found himself drawn to the diner's desolate charm. Jake had heard the local legends, of course, but dismissed them as mere folklore. He set up his camera, eager to capture the haunting beauty of the abandoned diner. As Jake adjusted his lens, focusing on the cracked leather booths and the dusty counter, he felt a cold spot settle over him. The air grew heavy, thick with an unseen presence. A shiver raced down his spine as he heard it, the distinct sound of footsteps approaching from the kitchen door. Slowly, Jake turned, his heart pounding in his chest, expecting to find a stray animal or perhaps a curious trespasser. But what he saw made his blood run cold. There, standing in the doorway, was the unmistakable figure of a man. He wore a tattered waiter's uniform, his features obscured by the shadows that clung to him like a shroud. Jake watched in disbelief as the spectral waiter glided effortlessly across the room, his feet making no sound on the dusty floorboards. The phantom waiter stopped at a table near the window, his spectral hand reaching out to adjust a non-existent napkin. Frozen in fear, Jake could only stare as the ghostly figure went through the motions of taking an order, his unseen lips moving silently. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the phantom waiter vanished into thin air, leaving Jake alone in the oppressive silence of the deserted diner. Shaken to his core, Jake gathered his equipment and fled into the night, the image of the ghostly waiter forever seared into his memory. Some say the phantom waiter is the restless spirit of a former employee, forever bound to the diner where he tragically lost his life. Others believe he's a warning, a harbinger of misfortune for anyone foolish enough to enter the abandoned diner after dark. Whatever the truth may be, one thing remains certain. The Whispering Willow stands as a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, their secrets buried beneath layers of dust and decay. Our next ghostly encounter takes us to the heart of a bustling city, where a once renowned restaurant called Gourmand's Delight now sits vacant and shrouded in darkness. The restaurant, known for its exquisite cuisine and elegant ambience, met an untimely end when its head chef, a culinary genius named Jean-Pierre, died under mysterious circumstances. Now locals whisper of a shadowy figure said to be the restless spirit of Jean-Pierre, haunting the kitchen where he once reigned supreme. Imagine the scene. A labyrinthine kitchen, once a symphony of clanging pots, sizzling pans, and the tantalizing aromas of culinary masterpieces. Now only silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by the drip of a leaky faucet and the rustling of unseen creatures in the shadows. This is where our witness, a security guard named Maria, encountered the chilling presence of the shadowy chef. Maria, a woman known for her stoic demeanor and unwavering bravery, had taken the night shift at the abandoned restaurant. Armed with only a flashlight and a walkie-talkie, she patrolled the darkened hallways, her footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. As she made her rounds, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, her senses on high alert. The air grew noticeably colder as Maria approached the kitchen. A shiver ran down her spine as she felt a presence, unseen but undeniably powerful, lurking within the shadows. Taking a deep breath, Maria pushed open the heavy swinging door, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. At first, she saw nothing out of the ordinary. Pots and pans hung from their hooks, gleaming faintly in the dim light. The stainless steel countertops, once spotless, were now covered in a layer of dust and grime. But then, out of the corner of her eye, Maria caught a glimpse of movement. A dark figure, tall and imposing, darted behind a large stainless steel refrigerator. Her heart pounding in her chest, Maria cautiously approached, her flashlight beam illuminating the space behind the appliance. There, pressed against the wall, was a shadowy figure. It appeared to be a man dressed in what looked like a chef's uniform, his back to Maria. "Hello?" Maria called out, her voice trembling slightly. "Is anyone there?" The figure didn't respond. It remained perfectly still, as if frozen in time. Slowly, Maria reached out a hand to touch the figure's shoulder. But as her fingers brushed against the shadowy form, it vanished into thin air, leaving behind a lingering chill and the faint scent of garlic and herbs. Maria, shaken but undeterred, continued her patrol. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone, that the shadowy chef was still lurking somewhere in the darkness, observing her every move. From that night forward, Maria refused to set foot in the kitchen again. The memory of the shadowy chef, the lingering chill, and the phantom aroma of spices were enough to convince her that some places are best left undisturbed, their secrets buried beneath layers of darkness and fear. Chapter 3. The Haunting Patron. Our final tale of ghostly encounters takes us to a secluded seaside town, where a quaint little restaurant called the Seafarer's Rest stands as a haunting reminder of a tragedy that struck long ago. The restaurant, once a popular gathering place for locals and tourists alike, was the site of a devastating storm surge that claimed the lives of several patrons, including a young woman named Anya. Now, locals whisper of a haunting presence, a ghostly figure said to be the restless spirit of Anya, forever searching for solace within the deserted restaurant walls. Imagine, if you will, the desolate dining room of the Seafarer's Rest. The once brightly painted walls are now faded and peeling, their cheerful hues replaced by the drab grey of neglect. Tables and chairs lie overturned, frozen in time from the night the storm raged through the restaurant, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. This is where our witness, a paranormal investigator named Daniel, encountered the haunting presence of Anya. Daniel, drawn to the restaurant's tragic past and the numerous reports of paranormal activity, decided to spend the night within its dilapidated walls, hoping to capture evidence of the ghostly patron. Armed with an array of recording equipment, electromagnetic field detectors, and a night vision camera, Daniel settled into the eerie silence of the deserted restaurant. As darkness enveloped the building, casting long, eerie shadows across the dusty floor, Daniel began to feel a shift in the atmosphere. The air grew heavy, thick with an unseen energy that sent shivers down his spine. He turned on his recording equipment, his voice a hushed whisper in the oppressive silence. "Anya," he called out, "if you're here, please make your presence known." The only response was the creaking of the old building as it settled around him. Undeterred, Daniel continued his vigil, his eyes scanning the darkness, his ears straining for any sound that might betray the presence of the ghostly patron. Hours passed, and just when Daniel was about to admit defeat, he heard it, a soft, mournful sigh coming from the corner of the room. His heart pounding in his chest, Daniel slowly turned towards the sound, his camera trained on the darkened corner. At first he saw nothing, but then, as his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he noticed a faint ethereal glow emanating from the corner booth. And there, sitting alone at the table, was the unmistakable figure of a young woman. Her long flowing hair cascaded over her shoulders, obscuring her face from view. She wore a white dress, its once pristine fabric now tattered and stained. Daniel watched in awe and terror as the ghostly figure reached out a translucent hand, seemingly trying to grasp something in the air. Suddenly the lights flickered, and the ghostly figure vanished before Daniel's eyes, leaving him alone in the darkness once more. Daniel spent the rest of the night searching for any sign of the ghostly patron, but she was gone. As dawn broke, casting its golden rays across the horizon, Daniel emerged from the deserted restaurant, forever changed by his encounter with the haunting presence of Anya. The Seafarer's Rest once a place of joy and laughter, now stood as a chilling reminder of the power of the sea and the restless spirits that may forever haunt its shores. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these chilling tales, don't forget to like, comment and share, and let me know which ghostly figure you found the most unsettling. Remember, every city, every town has its own share of abandoned places, each with its own stories to tell. Stay tuned for more horror stories, and remember, the next time you visit a deserted restaurant, you might not be alone. Until next time, stay safe and stay scared.